Huckabee from things that he said yesterday at the RNC, the same meeting that Dave Agama was told don't even bother to come. Now, here is Mike Huckabee speaking. Now, I want to take calls from women. I want women that are listening to me right now. I want you to listen to what Mike Huckabee said. And I want you to call this program, 888-589-8840. I want you to call this program and tell me if you find what Governor Huckabee said to be offensive. Everybody's saying it's offensive. The mainstream media is saying is offensive. Jay Carney is saying it's offensive. I don't see any Republicans coming to Mike Huckabee's defense. Remember what happened to Todd Akin when he made comments that got him in trouble with feminists and with the pro-abortion crowd. And what Richard Murdoch in Indiana said, nobody came to their defense. They just cut and ran. So the feminist machine is a buzzsaw. It's like a table saw. You get in the way of that thing, and they're going to slice you in two. And most men don't have the testosterone to stand up against that. They fold, they wilt, they allow themselves basically to be neutered by the pressure of this feminism. And that's what happened to Todd Akin and Richard Murdoch. Instead of the Republican Party coming to his defense, even if you don't agree with everything he said, what he was expressing was the defense of the sanctity of human life. At least come to his side, back him up on that. Maybe I wouldn't have said it the same way, but this is an important issue. Let's not forget what Todd Akin was talking about, the importance of protecting life in the womb. But they didn't do that. They just cut and ran. They left him isolated and alone. Remember, Reince Priebus, he's the guy that's calling for Dave Agama's head. He said, we're not going to give that guy $1 or a dime. We're not going to give Todd Akin one single solitary penny. So you can ask Todd Akin about how much support Mike Huckabee can expect to get. But women in the listening audience, I want you to listen to what Mike Huckabee said, and I want you to call in this program, 888-589-8840, and tell me if you are offended by what Mike Huckabee said, or are you offended by what the Democrats have as a view of women? Let's listen. Here's Mike Huckabee yesterday, RNC.
I think it's time Republicans no longer accept listening to the Democrats talk about a war on women. Because the fact is, the Republicans don't have a war on women. They have a war for women, for them to be empowered to be something other than victims of their gender. Women I know are outraged that the Democrats think that women are nothing more than helpless and hopeless creatures whose only goal in life is to have the government provide for them birth control medication. Women I know are smart, educated, intelligent, capable of doing anything that anyone else can do. Our party stands for the recognition of the equality of women and the capacity of women. That's not a war on them, it's a war for them. And if the Democrats want to insult the women of America by making them believe that they are helpless without Uncle Sugar coming in and providing for them a prescription each month for birth control because they cannot control their libido or their reproductive system without the help of the government, then so be it. Let us take that discussion all across America, because women are far more than the Democrats have played them to be. And women across America need to stand up and say, enough of that nonsense. And I think it's time we lead that discussion.
Now, what the media did with this is they cut out the statement that if the Democrats want to insult women by making them believe that they are helpless, they cut that out and tried to create the impression that this is what Mike Huckabee had said, that he was the one that thought that women needed help from the government to control their libido. And Mike Huckabee is not saying that. He's saying that this is what Democrats believe about women. Now, we've got a guest at the bottom of the hour, so we may have to save the phone calls until the last segment of this hour. Maybe we'll replay the Mike Huckabee quote again when we get to the last segment of the hour. But I want women to listen to this and be prepared to weigh in. I want to hear from women. I don't want to hear from men on this. I want to hear from women whether you think Mike Huckabee was insulting women. Was this a war on women? Now, what Huckabee's saying repeatedly in this is that we are for women. If the Republican Party is going to go to war, we are going to go to war for women. We believe in a high view of women. We believe they're intelligent. We believe they are capable. We believe they can make good decisions. And he says it's the Democrats that really have this insulting and demeaning and devaluing view of women that see them as little more than sex objects. As the Democrats are the ones that see them as incapable of controlling their sexual impulses and their sexual urges. Therefore, we've got to get protection in their hands. We've got to get birth control in their hands at taxpayer expense because they can't control themselves. We can't trust them to have enough self-control to say no. We can't trust them to make good decisions in life partners. So we've got to have government programs to be there because we can't trust them to make good decisions to marry a man who is a provider and who is a protector for them. So the government's got to do that. I mean, what a horrible, diminished view of women Democrats have. And what Mike Huckabee says, look, this is insulting, and I agree with him. This is an insulting view of women because it places there's no respect in this for their capacity for self-governance, for their capacity for self-reliance, for their capacity to choose a marriage partner who is going to be there with them and for their children. Rob, let's squeeze in clip number 2 very quick. Here's Jay Carney reacting to what the mainstream media said, not what Huckabee said.
And then Jay, not that long ago at the RNC winter meeting here in Washington, Mike Huckabee said that the Democrats' message to is that they are, I'm reading from the report here, they are helpless without Uncle Sugar coming in and providing for them a prescription each month for birth control because they cannot control their libido or their reproductive system without the help of government. Is that the president's message?
I haven't seen that report, but whoever said it, it sounds offensive to me and to women.
Well, it's just the truth. And if anybody ought to be offended, it is the Democratic Party for believing that about women. We'll be back with Rick Shafton, GOP consultant, right after this. Stay with us.